to the Prophecy Club. You know, one of the things that makes the Prophecy Club radio program so much different than probably anything else out there that you ever hear on radio or on the internet is because this is real world stuff. Okay, now yesterday in the broadcast, I was talking about and encouraging everybody to get the DVD, Building Your Prayer Closet, Protection in the Day of Trouble. I think it's really important for you to have that prayer closet, and the DVD can point you how to do that. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about. It was October the 18th of 2007, and I did not know that Leslie prayed this. But at this particular time, we were in a particularly deep financial hole. Now, I understand that it's nothing that we're doing wrong. I mean, it's just like when Dimitri came to Michael Boldea in that dream. He said it's all a test, and that really spoke to me too. As a matter of fact, all of us, in order for us to have a testimony, we all have to go through a test. Testimony test. Okay, that's where we get the testimonies because we survived a test. So here was the situation October 18th, 2007. Our finances had reached a new low. Unbeknownst to me, Leslie asked God if it was time for her to tell me to just go close the Prophecy Club and just go get a job. Well, God answered her that night, and this was the dream. She said, I was walking down a corridor, and I dropped a marble. It rolled under a door. I opened the door to get the marble and disrupted a very important meeting. Everyone stopped talking and looked at me. I apologized for intruding and left. But when I closed the door, I noticed a shoebox top on the floor. I picked it up, and a red marker began writing words on the shoebox top. And an audible voice spoke the words as they were being written. The voice in the dream was so loud, I woke up, I jumped out of bed, and I was standing beside the bed, yet the words continued to write, and I continued to hear the voice speak. Okay, so this was, I mean, that's pretty confirming when all of a sudden it moves from a dream to the real world. Okay, so now here it is at like 2 o'clock in the morning. She has jumped out of bed. She's standing beside the bed, all woke up now, and the voice continued to say, just as I did for David, I delivered him out of the hand of his fowler. I will do for you. I, the Lord, saith so. That's why you and I both want to have a prayer closet. And I'm not talking about a hammer and nails and something you build with wood. I'm talking about a relationship that is very unusual. Matter of fact, based upon the comments I get back from this DVD, the comments when I have talked about it, I put myself on, I don't know, a 14, 16, 18 city speaking tour and talked about it. Matter of fact, let me tell you one little story. When I made the DVD, I made it in Topeka, Kansas. And these were people that had been coming to Prophecy Club meetings for a long time, a lot of years, having heard a lot of speakers. And man, I thought I had just done a terrible job because there was no response from the people. I mean, they just like were frozen. I mean, their faces were frozen. They were frozen in their seats. I thought, oh boy, this is bombing. And after it was over and we turned off the cameras, there was no applause. I mean, okay, everybody wants to know you did a good job. Okay, all right. There was no applause. Turned off the cameras, everything stopped. And I just looked at the audience. And I said, was it that bad? And they said, no, Stan, no. This by far, and they started welling up tears in their eyes. And they said, no, Stan, this by far is the best DVD that you have ever made. Matter of fact, this by far is the most important and most powerful message that we've ever heard in our life. This is earth-shattering. This is life-changing. You did a super job. All right, now, let me explain. We're in another one of those financial pinches of no fault of our own, and maybe it's another test, or maybe we're actually in a Trump slump. I personally think that we're in a Trump slump. Matter of fact, the reason I say that is because I've talked to my agent, and he is also the agent for several other prophetic watchman informational type programs. And he tells me that they're just about all hurting. And so he is not surprised at all. Just about all of their finances have dried up. And why? Well, I think it's because Trump won the election and they think happy days are here again. And so now we can forget about the prophets. We can forget about the prophetic warning. We can forget about any of the hard times coming. We don't need to hear any of that stuff again. Everything is okay. So what has this done? Well, it has thrown me on my face. All right. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, I say some things on the radio program. I know that in my right mind, nobody in their right mind would say. I say things on the radio. I tell you, I tell you folks things that I don't even tell my wife. I don't know why that is. I don't know. Maybe it's some kind of therapy or something, but this financial difficulty, we've been struggling now ever since the election. I mean, we've been struggling for years, but I mean, really, really tough ever since the election. It's like the whole mailbox is just filled up with concrete. Matter of fact, we've had to cancel all of our radio across the nation, save one station in Dallas, Texas. So pretty much, if you're listening to us now, you downloaded it off the internet. Anyway, so one of the things that has really, how do I say this, kept my spirits up is because I know that I didn't start Prophecy Club. God called me to start it. And I don't know, a while back I memorized Psalm 91. And that's another thing. Memorizing Scripture. There's a big difference between reading it and memorizing it. When you memorize it, you own it. And when you own it, you can walk in it. When you can walk in it, then you can also call it to pass in your life. Now, let me give you the example. Psalm 91:1 says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place." Well, the secret place is the prayer closet. And it's not just a one-time prayer. It's not just a prayer when we get in trouble. It's not just a prayer when we feel like it. It's a prayer on our knees at least once a day, every day, rain or shine, be it good days, be it bad days, be it when you're busy, when you're on the road, doesn't make a difference. I fall to my knees every night, and because I never thought I was ever going to tell anybody that I was doing this. I never made a note of the date it started. I can tell you it was someplace in the ballpark of around 14 years ago. But every night I fall to my knees to tell my God, and every time I start talking about it, I start getting emotional, and my throat starts closing up. So I have to try to stay away from the emotional part. I won't be able to talk. But Psalm 91:1 says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." Now that said a whole lot, and that really just defined what a prayer closet is. Now notice it says, "He that dwelleth." It didn't say, "He that visiteth." He that does it once in a while, but dwelleth. He that lives for the prayer closet. I mean, to me, it's the highlight of every day. And by the way, I don't ever go into a prayer closet to get. I don't go into my prayer closet to beg, to ask. That's not a prayer closet. I go into the prayer closet for one reason. One reason. Now, after I have prayed some and accomplished the one reason, sometimes there's other things I pray for. Pray for a lot of people, pray for the church, blah, blah, blah. But the primary reason, the one reason I go into a prayer closet is to humble myself and to tell my God I love him. All right. There goes my throat again. I start getting emotional. I can't talk. So I love my God. I love the Lord. And it's my time to tell him, if my throat will work, it's my time, my personal, private time with my God. To tell him I love him with all of my heart, with all of my heart to just tell him I love him. And there is no right way, there is no wrong way to tell God that you love him. You just begin to tell him with all of your heart. You see, when I dwell in the secret place of the Most High, then I abide. In other words, I live with him. I walk with him. I hear him. I abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And all the rest of the psalm is simply defining that. Because life... Take my glasses off and wipe my eyes for a minute. My mom said, son, children is what life is all about. Well, I'm going to have to agree with my mom. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to have to disagree with my mom. Life is about worshiping God. Number one. That's it. Children, great. Job, great. All the other things in life all come second. When we can just find a place where we can tell our God that we love them. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. See, that's what the prayer closet is. Going into the prayer closet all by yourself. It's not driving down the road. It's not listening to music. It's not speaking in tongues. It's one thing. It's away from this world, as far as you can get from this world, away from interruptions, which is why I do it after everything has gone to bed. Okay, the world is turned off. That's when I go in and I fall to my knees and I say, I love you, Lord, with all of my heart, with all of my mind, all of my soul, all of my strength, all that I am. I'm yours. I love you. Look, he has done so much for me. He has saved me, not once, but twice. He has washed my sins away, not once, but twice. He's provided. He's protected. He has done so much for me. I don't know that I'll ever be able to repay him. On this DVD I just made, I just said, I thought, before I got in the ministry, that I thought God was a bad paycheck. I'd seen these other preachers struggle financially, and I thought, no thanks, not me. I'm going to be making $1 million by the time I'm 30. I ain't going to have anything to do with the ministry. Nothing to do with God. Bad paycheck. Well, I said on the DVD I just made that over the 24 years now, almost, that I've been serving him full time, that he has paid me more than I have earned. He has blessed me more than I deserve. He is the best boss and the best God. And it is my privilege to fall to my knees and to tell him that I love him every night. I live for the secret place. I live for it. I live. I live to worship him. That's the prayer closet, brothers and sisters. And if you can find it, and this DVD will help you find it, in a world where pastors have never found it, in a world where the TV and the radio is all about making money, all about this world, this DVD will help you find a close relationship with Jesus Christ like you have never, ever, and would never, ever have. I don't think you can get it just from the Bible. I don't think that. I don't think you can get it from your pastor, from going to church. I don't think you can get it from a radio or TV program. The only place I know that you can possibly find it is by this DVD. And that's what a lot of people say. That's what they tell me. Building your prayer closet. Protection in a time of trouble. Because this DVD, and I need to look up when I made it. I made it several years ago. But this DVD helps you to find what America needs the most. What Christians, what pastors, what church leadership in this nation and around the globe need the most. Because this life is not about children. It's not about money. It's not building our career, a bank account, a big building, a nice house, nice car. This life is about loving and worshiping God. Period. Everything else comes second. And that's what it really means, to put God first. My throat is kind of cleared up a little bit. I can talk now. But that's what it means. That's the prayer closet. That's the prayer closet. I don't know. I cannot point you to another place where you can find it. I don't know. I've never heard of anybody else. Matter of fact, what people say is I've never heard anybody else talk about the prayer closet like you do. I've never heard, ever. When I first gave this very first talk, this before I even turned it into a DVD, I can't even remember, but I think it was in Detroit, and the reason I even talked about it is because we had like an hour in the 3-day crusade that we had to fill, and Leslie said, "Won't you talk about the prayer closet?" No, that's personal, that's private, because I was never going to talk about it. Never. But I got up there, and people afterwards came up with tears in their eyes, and they said, "You got to put this on a DVD." No, this is my personal relationship with my God. I can't tell everybody about this. No, Stan, you have to. You have to tell them. They have to find this. I've never heard this in any church. I've never heard this on any radio or TV program. I've never heard it. You got to tell them. You got to tell them. You got to tell them about the prayer closet. So I made it into a DVD. It'll change your life. And I'm on the radio talking about it today because we're in another one of those real big jams. But you see, I don't look to the people. The people didn't call me to start Prophecy Club. God did. He is my God, my personal God. I've seen him provide and protect and guide, direct, and yes, correct. He's my God. I have a relationship with him. I know him, and I know he will take care of us. Here's my question for you, brothers and sisters. As much as I love you, I have to ask you, do you have a prayer closet? Do you have a prayer closet? This is only supposed to be a little 3-minute introduction. Then I was going to go over and play the audio of the DVD of the prayer closet. Now I'm wiping tears out of my eyes. The anointing has come on me, and I guess God wanted me to talk from my heart today. Okay, so hang on. Having the prayer closet. You're going to have trouble with your children. Having the prayer closet helps you solve them. You'll have trouble in your marriage. The prayer closet helps you solve it. You'll have financial trouble. You've got a place to go. When the wife doesn't understand, the husband doesn't understand, the boss, the children, the world, when they don't understand, they can't possibly understand how you feel. You've got a God to go in and talk to, and walk with, and talk with. I talk with God all the time because I have a relationship with him. I know that when I get to heaven, I know who I'm going to see. I don't exactly know what he looks like, but him and I have a relationship. That's what we're talking about, having that kind of a relationship. And brothers and sisters, it doesn't come from a little daily same old prayer. It doesn't come from praying and talking to God driving down the road. And by the way, it's not a 5-minute time. When I began my prayer closet, I was spending, I don't know, again, I didn't time it. I wasn't going to tell anybody. But I'm going to guess it was at least 30 minutes and probably closer to an hour every evening. And on this DVD, I talk about all of a sudden God began to speak to my heart, things he wanted me to change, because those I love, I chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. That's his message when we come to him. When you first start building a prayer closet, you first start getting on your knees. One of the first things, at least with me, he says, okay, if you're going to come to me, then we got to make some changes. You're going to walk with me. You got to walk differently. You got to make some changes in your life. But see, that's what we want. We want our God to make changes with us. We want that. We need that. And the more correction, I've got to where now, I ask for his correction. I ask in fear and trembling, I might add. But I ask for his correction. Because in his correction, well, one thing was it'll show us how close we are to him. Because you want to know if God will hear your prayer? Boy, you ask that prayer. You say, Lord, if there's anything I need to do, please show me. And get ready for a whooping. At least that's the way it is with me. So I asked for his correction, but I remember one time I think I was in like the 5th or 6th grade. I can't remember. I'd done something wrong, and I knew I was about to get called into the principal's office, and knew I was about to get licks. Of course, they don't do that in schools anymore, but they used to hit us on the behind with a board. So I when I got out of gym, I left my gym shorts on, pulled my blue jeans on over the shorts because I knew I was about to get a licking. Well, when you go into the prayer closet, when you start wanting to get close to an almighty and pure and holy God, that's one of the things. You better put on your extra pair of gym shorts because he is going to make changes. Why? Because those I love, I chasten. And as Psalm 23 says, he will lead us into the paths of righteousness. He shows us how to make changes in our life so that we can get closer to him. That's part of it. That's who he is. He's a holy and awesome and powerful God, and I'm sad to say, but so many Americans don't know. Oh, how do I say this? And I'm not trying to be critical, and I'm not trying to lift myself up, but just most people that I'm around don't have a prayer closet. They don't have you can see it. It began changing me. Matter of fact, if you want to get closer to God, then that's what you do. You get in on your knees every night, and you begin to tell God you love him. However you're going to tell him. And he will begin to talk back to you. Probably not going to be an audible voice, but at the same time, you probably don't really want an audible voice, because to get an audible voice, you got to go through a lot of whoopings, as we say in Texas. You got to go through a lot of correction, because God's got to get a whole lot of the world off of us and sin out of us. Why, he's going to point out things to you, at least it did to me, that are sin that you didn't even think was wrong. What do you mean? What's wrong with that? Oh, really? Oh, I see. Hey, you want me to change that? Yes, sir. I didn't think that was wrong. I mean, every little thing. I mean, when you've had the prayer closet a while, you look at Jesus and you say, I don't even know how you came close to doing this. For some 33 and a half years, you lived holy. I mean, without any mistakes. I don't even know how you did that. And that's the reason in heaven, the mighty angel stands up and proclaims with a loud voice, saying, who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof? And no man was found worthy in heaven, nor in the earth, nor under the earth. No man was found worthy or to even look upon the book. Jesus is the only one. He's the only one that lived a complete holy life. And when we start building that prayer closet, brothers and sisters, he's going to start asking us to make changes. Changes in the way we deal with people. Not just with our lips, but with our walk and our talk, our attitudes, the way we think, all the time. All the time. Matter of fact, here's a pretty good gauge. You want to find out how close you are to God? Ask yourself this: how often is God correcting you? I remember when George Bush was running for the presidency. A lot of people thought, oh, he's a born-again Christian. And I answered this way, and I said, well, I don't know if he's really a Christian, but I can tell you how to find out. All you have to do is ask him one question. Just say, what is God dealing with you on to correct in your life right now? Because a real Christian that really is walking and talking with Jesus has always got a list of, in my case, 5 or 10 things he's working for me to change. And if I can ever remove one, that number one thing, it just rotates up. It's not that I didn't used to have 10, now I have 9. There's still 10. There's still things he wants me to change. Because as we get close to a holy and perfect, all-knowing, all-seeing, all-powerful God, we have to make changes. And the more we are in the world, the less he corrects us. But the more we tell him that we want to get close, tell him that we want him to correct us, tell him that we want to be close to him, we want to be more holy, the more he corrects us. And by the way, I don't know if you hear this sort of stuff on other radio programs out there, but this is the kind of walk we all want. We all want to get closer to Jesus. Well, again, I've been praying, and so I'll continue to pray, and we're in a particular deep financial hole right now. So if you could help Prophecy Club, that would be wonderful. If you want to get the Prayer Closet gift offer, the DVD is $30, and we right now have a special offer going where you can get 3 DVDs. You can get Explosive Prayer Strategies by Bree Keaton and America's War in Heavens. That's the brand new DVD she just made this past weekend. And Building Your Prayer Closet. All 3 of them valued at $90 for a gift of just $35. And for that good a deal, I believe you'll probably tuck in an extra donation just to help Prophecy Club so that you can continue to hear this voice tell you the things that other ministries won't say. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And thank you for your gifts of support. God bless.
Brothers and sisters, God wants us to help his side win the battle for souls. The Prophecy Club is on the tip of God's spear. Join the battle and prayerfully consider supporting the Prophecy Club with your gifts of support. We would not be here without your prayers and generous financial support.
Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. As you know, Redwood Gold is now sponsoring the Prophecy Club. That means that they help us to continue to be able to come to you. So, of course, we want to help them. In an effort to get you to introduce yourself to them, they're offering a 1-gram silver bar free and postage paid just for giving them a call. They just want to get to know you. Now, it's a limited time offer. It works like this. You call Redwood Gold, tell them you listen to the Prophecy Club, chat with them a moment. They send you a 1-gram silver bar free and postage paid. Redwood Gold, 844-800-6677. Pretty good deal, huh? Just for an introduction. Redwood Gold, 844-800-6677. No obligation. Tell them you listen to the Prophecy Club. Redwood Gold, 844-800-6677. You got nothing to lose. Call today.